What's up, John? How you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. How about you?
Man, I'm rocking and rolling over here over in Nashville, Tennessee. Actually, it's Lebanon, Tennessee, but close enough. Right outside Nashville.
Yeah, just stick to the one everybody knows.
Yes, exactly. Big city. The big city.
Oh
So
yeah.
man, I'm really pumped up to give episode 41 of Guys with Thighs rocking and rolling today.
Yes, sir. Me too, man. Dude, it's been I'm doing great right now, but it was a little bit of a rough start for me today. So this is
Ooh.
the best part of my day right now.
Too much being a party animal?
Yeah, I mean those days are a little bit past me, so I don't think that was it. It's like I think I gave that up actually before I turned 21, so it's actually was a good thing. Once I was able to freely get alcohol, I didn't want it anymore. So
Dude, it's crazy the amount of people that are just like, yeah, once I turned 21, it just wasn't as fun anymore because it didn't have like the riding the razor's edge of like, will I get caught or will I not?
hmm yeah, I think that was a part of it because it's just like, oh yeah, now I'm just like having a few beers at the bar like my parents did. Like this ain't that cool anymore.
Yeah. I never even got into that, man. I've been drunk, I think, a grand total of 5 times, if that, in my life. And most of them have been at like I used to live in the country, so like they were at my dad's house to where like we just have a bunch of boys, we'd put the keg in the snow outside and just like have fun. Like play pong and do all the good stuff at home in a safe, controlled environment. My dad would make us breakfast in the morning, a bunch of hungover kids, and off we'd go.
Hell yeah, dude. That sounds like a great time. Yeah, it's definitely been a few more than 5 times for me though. It was pretty regular there for a while.
Oh man, the best part was is like just getting the boys back together. Like we're all legal drinking age, and it doesn't matter. We all act like children, right? Like we're all just downstairs
Oh
having
yeah.
fun, pumping the keg, playing pong, playing having all the good times, playing the classic music. Like some of the best memories, I will admit. Like
Oh
it
yeah.
it's fun to get the boys together. You know how it is.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's not the drinking that makes those memories. It's the getting the right people together, and it just happens to be that alcohol made it more fun that night.
The social lubricant, it loosens you up a little bit, as long as you're smart
Yeah.
about it. Yep.
Exactly. Got
Yep.
to be smart about it. You're only gonna remember those things if you're smart about it. Like you ain't gonna. Some of those things are not memories for me. Whenever I was drinking back
I
in the
actually,
day,
dude, I've never had
they're
that. I've
gone.
never had that to where I've been blackout drunk or forgot what I did. So I'm gonna try and keep that streak alive. Actually, I am gonna keep that streak alive. I'm not even gonna try on that one. We're just gonna keep it alive.
Yes, like yeah, take that try out of there. I'm going to.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So, what happened this morning that you were a little bit behind? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean to be completely honest, man, I was supposed to work today at 10,
Ah,
and I looked at the schedule wrong. Simple as that. I got no excuses for it. I didn't think I worked. I was supposed to work. And I woke up at like 11:15. Like I slept in a little bit today. I usually wake up like 8, 9 o'clock.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm off. I'm just going to turn my alarm off and wake up whenever today. And my phone was actually dead though, too. But didn't wake up till like 11:15. I was supposed to be here at 10. So
Hmm.
I got up and straight into fight or flight, like adrenaline mode. Got here as fast as I could and got to work.
Yeah, I bet you like as soon as you figured out you had to work, that adrenaline just like went to hit you, and it just
hmm
yep. Yep.
Yes,
So,
sir.
dude, that like brought up like an instant thought in my head. I'm like, okay, you're behind, you're scrambling, right? You're getting to work, like you're apologizing your butt off. Like, how do you bring yourself back to like the moment of clarity of like, okay, we're just gonna settle in and like get back to work. Like, bring yourself back to it. Like, here we go. Is it like prioritize and execute for you? Do you like take a deep breath? Like, how did it work for you today?
So getting back into like once I got into actual work, like getting on emails and phones and things like that. I mean, this is true for no matter what throws me off. Like getting back to the moment. So thinking about, hey, one task at a time. You got one person in front of you right here to take care of. Worry about them and nothing else. And I mean, to apply that to if you don't work with people in your job and that happens, like, hey, you got one assignment to do right now. Worry about that assignment, then get on to the next. It's like
Mhm.
worrying about you being late for work isn't going to help you get that assignment done. And then worrying about the conversation that you may have to have with your team lead or manager, whoever that may be later in the day, like that's only going to mess you up even more. So like worry about the task at hand, and then worry about those things you got to do to fix the issues that were caused later. Like, and worry about what you got to do now.
Yeah, and you definitely rallied today from what you told me, right? Like once you hit the ground running and got back to work, you lived in the moment all day.
Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, no, I was cranking today. I was very happy with what I was able to do with the shorter time period that I had. So definitely can help you. That adrenaline dump that I had this morning, I used that to my advantage for sure.
Brother, you got
Because
to use all the motivation and energy you got sometimes.
exactly. Yeah, dude. Like whenever I had that feeling, like there's two things that you can let it or two things that you can do with that energy. You can take that adrenaline dump and make you more angry, and you get less work done. Like it just makes you get you into a worse mood, and it gets worse all day, and you get absolutely nothing done. Or you can take that energy and turn it into work, like help you have the energy to get everything done that you can that day. And basically, it helps with the urgency that you need to get more done. Like the amount of urgency you can have when you got that adrenaline going,
Mhm.
it's second to nothing I've experienced. So,
Oh yeah. No caffeine in the world can touch that. Like the way that your natural adrenaline just hits, it's just like, all right, baby, we're running
mm-hmm.
through this ball.
Oh, you mentioning caffeine? I didn't even think about that, bro. Dude, I've had less than half the amount of caffeine that I normally have on a daily basis. I
And
didn't
you were
even
still
think about that. Yeah, dude, I was cranking. Don't get me wrong. I woke up and had some caffeine, but usually it's like 3 or 4 doses throughout the day. It was just the
yeah.
one this morning.
Yeah. And when I asked you like kind of like what you do to reset, it was had me thinking. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, where did my reset system come from too, right? And
Hmm.
it actually came from like one of my old coaches. He always used the thing flush it, right? So like a toilet, like you flush it down and there it goes away, right? And you start fresh, and for the most part.
Not
But
always.
not always. Clean it up, flush it again. That's what you got to do. But be a good human. No, but like this was specifically on the basketball court. So I played uh, my sophomore year through my senior year. I was up on varsity. So my sophomore year was a learning experience. I can tell you that much. So every time like I'd make a mistake, like literally it'd be like flush it, like get it out of the mind, like on to the next play, and like that's always stuck with me. So now whenever I screw up, I'm late, I'm this, I'm that. It's just like I can just hear those words in my head. It's like flush it. Okay, it's done. Right? Now we have to focus on what our task is on hand and then go from there because I can't go back in the past, right? I can use it as a motivator now. I can use it as like something that can help me like drive forward today. But if I'm hung up on the past, I'm going to be thinking about it and then I'm going to screw up what I have in front of me and then it makes it actually worse. So, the tactic that I always had, and like I can still hear like the toilet flushing in my head every time I say, all right, flush it, and it just shoop. And like if you're like a physical guy, kind of like me, like you need like physical cues, like you can literally go flush it and like just let it go away, sit there for a second, and then reattack. Like that's what helps me come back to present. It's just like those two words, flush it.
Dude, I love that. That like when you said when you hear the noise in your head, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
very audio based guy, obviously, with the things I like to do with like fixing audio and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you said that, I was just like, oh, I'm gonna use that. Like I don't even have to hear the words flush it in my head. Like I just hear that noise of flushing something down. I'm like, all right, it's gone. Like, I'm definitely
Yeah.
stealing that.
Dude, good. And like that, hey, you know what? I did my job. Somebody told me some advice. Now I'm telling you, and now you're going to pass it along. You can use it for your kids eventually. You can use it for whoever, a client that you're working with. Just like whenever they're flustered about something that happened in the past, just be like, flush it. And like, shh, it's gone. Let's reset and let's reattack. Let's reevaluate and reattack.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. I mean, it just all goes back to being present, like focusing on what you got to do right now. That's something that, I mean, I talked about it on a previous podcast, but I struggled with that a lot in the past. And there's times that I start thinking about the future and past too much right now. So that's been the biggest key for me personally, to not only like snap out of those like bad mindsets that you get into at times. It happens to everybody. But also, when you're in a good mindset, getting more out of the situation, just being able to provide more value to every single situation that you're in. Because, like, if you are more present with, like, talking to your mom, as simple as that, like we were talking about last week's, spending time with your family, like, you're going to get more out of just that simple interaction if you're focused on just her rather than all the work that you still got to get done that you may not have gotten to at work that day, and you're still going to have to stay up 3 hours later to get it all done. It's like, no, worry about your mom right then, and then go focus on your work, and you may be more rejuvenated to get that work done. But it always pays off staying focused on the present moment.
Yep. Yes, sir. And I couldn't agree more. And the best kind of opportunity for us to focus on the present moment is the 8-week transformation challenge that's coming up through First Form.
Yeah.
And I know you're pumped because you're going to be doing the gains train for
Yes,
this one. So
sir.
let's fill the people in on that one because the deadline is tomorrow at midnight Central 11:59 at Central Time tomorrow night, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow. If you enter them at midnight, that means it's Tuesday and you can't enter the challenge anymore. So make sure it's not a second past that 11:59. But the 8-week challenge is, I mean, dude, I think this is an awesome one because this is the time of year that most people are going to be letting their foot off the gas. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we got Thanksgiving coming up, we got Christmas parties coming up, and it's like everybody's just in the mindset of, hey, yeah, I'll get back on it whenever Christmas is over. Like, I'll get
Whenever the
back on it at the
holidays are over.
start of the year.
Yep. Yep.
hmm Yeah, so I think this is the best time to really lock it in and start earning results so that you're that much farther ahead of everyone else when they get started on January 1st, like most people do. And then
Yeah.
people are going to be asking you like, hey, what did you do, man? And you're going to be the person they go to for help when they get started January 1st. So it's a great time to start. Gonna start there.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah.
what I really love is, have you ever heard of Jim Rohn? I've talked to him about it in
Oh,
the
of
past.
course. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you showed me him.
Godfather of motivational speaking, business stuff. And then pretty much everything that's come out of since like the 1960s on motivational speaking and like business tactics is kind of can be funneled back to Jim Rohn. But he talks about the concept of seasons, right?
hmm
And winter, fall, spring, summer. And right now we are in the fall season for the seasons out there for the earth. However, we can actually be in the spring season in our life to where like we're planting our seeds and going to like watch them develop over the next 2 months that lead us into the new year. So then when the new year comes around, we can start reaping the benefits of what we planted. Well, everybody else was just in chill mode, right? Everybody else is
hmm
like, oh, it's wintertime. Like we don't even have to worry about this. It's time to put on a little winter fluff. Well, guess what? If we start planting our seeds now by you doing a strategic bulk or somebody else doing a little bit of a cut, getting into the new year, you are going to be leaps and bounds ahead of where people would be, and you are going to be in harvest season when everybody else is scrambling to go plant those seeds and be behind you.
Yeah, dude, exactly. It's like if you're starting right now, like if you plant that seed right now versus when someone else is planting it January 1st, like your flowers are going to be coming February, March, where you're finishing that goal and people are like, holy shit, you look awesome. Where everybody else, they're just going to be getting started at that time. And
Yep.
I mean, even stop worrying about everyone else, like where they're going to be at, like worry about where you're at. It feels real good once you hit that goal and get there as fast as you can so you can set new ones too, because like we're just getting started, guys. Like this is like you set one goal, like that's not the end. Like we got to keep pushing further. So let's start right now. There is no need to wait. I go back to the classic quote that probably everybody on here has heard, but just a quick reminder. It's like, hey, what's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. Well, what's the second best time? Right now. Do it right now. Quit waiting.
Yep. And here's a little something for the people, right? And the reason that we're telling you to start like right now is because, just for a little example, when people are going to be watching this pod, it's going to be Monday the 7th, right? And that's when the Transformation Challenge begins. So let's just do a little breakdown for me personally. So Monday the 7th, that means that there's 86 days until the new year, until 2025. I personally eat 5 meals a day, right? So that's 430 meals from Monday the 7th until the new year, right? And like, this is what I wish everybody would do. This is just simple like math and breakdown stuff, right? So let's give you Halloween night, right? And then we're going to give you 2 Thanksgivings. And then we're going to give you 2 Christmas parties because you have a work Christmas party. Actually, let's give you 3. Let's give you 3 Christmas parties. Work Christmas party, significant other Christmas party, and your Christmas party, right? So I'm giving you 2 Thanksgivings. That's 2. I'm giving you 3 Christmases. That's 5. And then I'm giving you a Halloween night because everybody likes to go out for Halloween, or, you know,
Oh, yeah.
just a piece of candy or 2, even if you don't go out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 6 meals out of 430 that I'm giving you. Guess what? You can still have the apple pie. You can have the pumpkin pie. You can have the drinks. Okay? I'm giving you like everything that your heart has ever wanted. Like, we can count Halloween or November 20 or 28th is the, I believe, the Thanksgiving this year. Hell, you could take that entire day off. And you could have 420 good meals out of 430. Right? So that's why we're telling you to like start right now, because if you start stacking wins, you're going to be able to have those holidays off. You're going to be able to have grandmama's apple pie with a big old scoop of ice cream, because in the grand scheme of things, in the lifestyle thing, it's not going to matter. Okay? You're still going to see the results. Now, if you want to get to the 1% of 1% and like really watching your gains, of course it's going to matter in this small time frame. But hey, we don't diet and exercise. We eat and train for a specific goal, right? And for me personally, I want this thing to be a lifestyle. So like, I look at it as I have 430 meals from Monday the 7th to the new year. I'm going to have my mom's apple crisp. Okay? Like, that's just the way it's going to be. I'm not going to be mad about sneaking something on Halloween. Actually, I am this year, but because I'm on 75 hard. But when
so
I'm
you
in Greece, I'm going to have my pizza, okay? Because that's going to be my Halloween day, all right? Like, yo, if you look at it and do the math, you're still able to have the foods that you want and are craving, but the key is getting back on it and getting back on the plan, getting back on the nutrition plan, getting back on your fitness plan, okay? So, like I said, I can give you 420 meals, good meals, and give you those 10 free meals. For the rest of the year, you can eat all the bad food that you want, your little heart desires. As long as you get back on it, you are going to be perfectly fine. You are going to look great. You are going to feel strong, and you are going to dominate your goals. I don't know. Am I crazy? Because that's just the way I look at it.
Nah, dude, I'm so glad that you brought that up because I mean, I'm gonna be bulking for this challenge, but like I want to lean bulk. I want to stay as lean as possible. But so I'm gonna eat super clean the whole time. Like I'm gonna eat like I was in prep for bodybuilding. But on those like days that I'm going to see my family for Thanksgiving, going out for Christmas parties, like I'm gonna go eat those foods. For one, I was a fat kid, so I love that food. I'm not gonna miss out on it. And number two, it ain't gonna ruin my results. Like I know I can eat, but I can't eat enough in a day, even me, to ruin my results for the challenge. Like even if I did go completely off the rails, which would be unbelievable, the amount of calories. If I just ate whatever I wanted to when I'm hungry, it'd be really, really bad. But if I have those 420 good meals and only 10 off-plan meals,
that's saying that you have 10 bad meals. I'm giving you the whole Thanksgiving day off, right? Like,
yeah. So whatever that equals out to, but dude, that's if you do 420 good out of 430, you can earn some really amazing results. Like that's way more. I don't know what percentage we're getting up to there, but that's got to be like 97% or something like that. Like
That's hitting a
you're going to
lot.
do
I mean,
well.
I can do the math here. So we
Yeah.
got 4 divided by 430. We got 98%,
Yeah.
97.6. So that's a 98% hit rate. If you do
Mm-hmm.
anything 98% of the time, I'm telling you what, you are going to see results and you're going to live the life that you've always wanted.
1,000%. Like think about. I always like to bring up. I learned from all my baseball player friends up in here in CL. Like the best batting averages ever in baseball are like somewhere in the 300s, right? I know you like baseball
So one of the
a little
best
bit more,
seasons
but
ever, or like the best seasons ever is like 405 out of four. Yeah, batting 405. But the saying goes that if you bat 300, so 3 out of 10 times, if you can
mm-hmm.
get a hit 3 out of 10 times for 15 years, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame. Like
That's
that means you
crazy.
get out 7 out of 10 times, and you're in the Hall of Fame because you did it 300 or 3 out of 7 or Jesus 3 out of 10 for 15 years. Like, isn't that crazy?
That is absolutely nuts. Like just thinking about that, like this is just little side tangent with baseball players being able to do that, like aiming for 30 to 40%. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you got to be pretty strong mentally to go through that much failure and still know that you're doing well. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's something that we're going to have to deal with as humans. I'm just seeing that in the baseball players, like they deal it way more than us, but it's like, you have to be able to go through like you messing up, like I did this morning, like not getting to work on time. You got to deal with that mess up and still be able to hit your 30 or 40%. Like you still
Mm-hmm.
have to hit the mark perfectly a good chunk of the time. Like for diet, it's going to be more than the 30% that we're talking about. Like we're not going to get results unless we're 80 plus. And we're just throwing numbers out there. There are no absolutes in fitness. There's always gray areas. But you got to be able to notice, like, hey, I did mess up. And that's completely okay. You can't let it eat you alive and get straight back to it.
Yep. You just got to use the old flush it mentality,
And
and like we're
flush it.
starting over, and and we're getting back to it, and that's where like that physical thing for me is just going like, all right, next meal, I'm back on it. I'm back on my eating my egg whites and my eggs in the morning, so like I can flush it at night, and I'm back on it. Um, and I think that's really important with the challenges coming up and with the holidays coming up. Is just like, hey, like it's okay. We're not going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. It's quite all right. If we do mess up, let's flush it and let's get back on it. Let's get back on our nutrition plan. Let's get back on our tasks. Let's get back on with our accountability buddies. Let's bring them through. Let's bring us through, and let's get going.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. I didn't even mean to make it wrap all the way back around to what we started with, but it freaking it happened naturally. It's like, hey, that's just what is likely going to happen on this journey. Like you are not going to be perfect, and when you go in with the mindset of like, hey, I know I'm probably going to mess up, it's much easier to get back on track too. So
Mm-hmm.
expect it and reduce the amount of time that you're off as much as you can.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just wanted to bring that up. I know like we were a little scatterbrained there when it came to the math thing, but like
Yeah.
like I'm telling you what, like, but that's exactly how it's going to be for me, like in this transformation challenge and through the end of the year, is that 430 meals. When I look at it like that, because I eat 5 meals a day, right? 86 days, and it's just like cool. Like I can win 420 out of 430. Like I can do that. Like I don't have to be perfect. And that's a 97%, 98% hit rate. That's a lot. Even if that goes down to like 410 to where it's like a 90% hit rate, I am still going to see results. And so will anybody watching this video. If you hit your nutrition plan and your workouts 90% of the time, what you see in the mirror will be drastic.
1,000%. Yeah, and the longer that you're able to do that, like the better
Mhm.
results that you will get. It will be slow. Like the people that you see that win the challenges that lose 20, 30 pounds in a challenge, like just know they're the ones that are doing 428 good meals out of 430 for the rest of the year. Like they're the ones that are on it most of the time. And like some of them do actually, just thinking about it, some of them during the 8-week challenge, they'll be closer to that 420, but they are literally perfect down to the details for that 420. And then those free meals, if you have a coach, this may be something that they actually throw in your plan, like refeeds and free meals to speed up metabolism and stuff. But yeah, that's, if you want to win, you got to take it further than that 420 most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, it all depends on where you're starting at. And for me, like, I love people that want to go for winning in these 8-week challenges. I love it. I don't believe that should be the overall goal, though. The overall goal should be health, long-term health, right? And when I look at it, I'm just like reps and sets over a long period of time. How can I get you to be able to lift your grandkids up when you're 80 years old? Like, I think that's actually true living. That's true fitness to me. How can I get you to have a better relationship with food? To want to eat the healthy stuff over the nasty stuff? To want to not overconsume, if that makes sense. So like me having a history of eating disorder, how do I get you to snap out of that, to have a good relationship with food, to know when your cutoff point is? And that's where I view success. Like, aesthetic change is awesome. I truly believe, like, if you take the long path, which 86 days to the end of the year is a long time, you can see massive, massive results. And then say that you kick it into gear again on the first of the year and you keep going. Like, imagine then adding 3 months to that. Like, that's a good chunk of the year with a reset in the middle that you are going to get great results. And it's completely possible to get the body that you want, whether you're bulking, whether you're shredding, whether you're bulking and then shredding. Like, it's possible to get the results that you want with that reps and sets over a long period of time mentality. And that goes for nutrition, like nutritional reps and sets, with working out reps and sets, spiritually reps and sets. Like, you can take that mentality to every aspect of your life. Financially, reps and sets. We're all going to fuck up. Been there.
I've been there too.
Yep. But it's reps and sets over a long period of time. And that's all you have to look at, is like, we're going to get better one day at a time, living in that moment, being present, and then going from there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that you always bring the perspective of like, hey, this is a long-term game. Like, that's like my nerd brain will always go to the little details of like, hey, this is what you can do to really push it for 8 weeks. Like, or this is like going into the more short term, but that the long term is really what this is all about. Like, building those habits so that we can do this for a long time. And dude, as soon as you mentioned the being able to lift your grandkids up when you're older, like that's one of my like most important goals. Like, one of the things that I have to be able to do when I'm older, because it's like, actually if you've seen the it was an advertisement where there was an old man.
Christmas commercial.
Yeah, that's what really like solidified it. That old man, he was doing freaking just front raises.
I'll find the link in the show notes. I'll put it down there because it's one of the most powerful advertisements I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I was just like, why is this old man do front raises with a kettlebell? And he ends up freaking doing it just so he can put his granddaughter up in the air to put a nice star on top of the Christmas tree. And I was just like, that is what this is about. Being able to do shit like that. Like, it's hard to describe. That's where I'm running out of words right now. And just have
and that's why and anybody who works with me, like, whatever you want, because as a coach, you are the client. If you want to get skinny, I can get you skinny. If you want to get strong, I can get you strong. If you want to get skinny and strong, I can get you skinny and strong. Like, there's going to be trade-offs, of course, right? Like, you're not going to be as strong if you're trying to get like a lot leaner, right? However, like, as a coach, I view it as my duty to communicate that this is a long run approach, and we are going to do our best to make sure that when you're 50 years old, you can still sprint. You know, when you're 80 years old, you can still lift your grandkids, or you can go to your grandkids' soccer game on your own and without having to be wheeled anywhere. Like that's my job as a coach, I believe, and truly believe personally that that's what we should be striving for. Physical transformation is great. Getting as lean as you can is awesome. There's definitely some trade-offs, trust me.
Mm-hmm.
But like the longevity aspect, I think, is forgotten a lot. And I just want to show that it's possible to get the results you want by going a little bit slower, focusing on the reps and sets, doing the right things, and reaping the benefits over a long period of time.
Absolutely, dude. And what you reminded me, what you said there at the end, actually something you and all the other military guys taught me. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast, baby.
Yes,
You
sir.
do it slow, right the first time, it's going to go
Mm-hmm.
much smoother and be faster in the end. It's like
Yep.
you probably tell I practiced that a couple times, that
I can
going through
tell. I can tell. Yeah,
that.
yeah. You
But
must have
it
said,
applies to everything. Like slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Like if you, and that literally goes back to what we were talking about with being present in the moment. In the moment, you're able to go through it a little bit slower. You can do it with a little bit higher quality, so you don't have
mm-hmm.
to come back and fix anything.
And intention.
Mm-hmm. Get to hit all of those details that you need, and
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be able to get more done in the long term. It's like
You know, that just reminded me, man, my dad's in my head today because it's like there's so many times I heard, well, if you would have did it right the first time, you wouldn't be doing it again. Damn it. Like, hey,
mm-hmm.
guys, if you're I'm telling you what, if you didn't crash diet the first time, you wouldn't be having to diet again. Okay? If you didn't push your body too hard and get hurt the first time, you wouldn't be starting at square one again. We could be building off of these and using lessons learned. So, like that's what I always like. God, Todd's in my head right now. If you do it right the first time, and luckily bring it full circle, kind of back to the first Phorm transformation challenge. If you do get into the challenge, you are provided an advisor that is on the journey in front of you and actually helps you through the journey to keep you healthy, to keep you strong, to keep you fit through this journey. And I think that is the greatest tool to me. The macro tracking's awesome, the water tracking's awesome, but it's the ability to have a personal training certified coach advisor in the app that is there to answer the questions for you. I think that's one of the greatest tools ever.
1000%, because doing this long term is so hard to do alone. Like doing it for a long time, you can't do it alone. It's pretty much impossible. It's like actually one thing when we were talking about earlier directly applies to this. Another quote that I've heard a million times here. If you want to go, or wait, no, yeah, there we go. I almost messed it up. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And like if you want to get real good results this 8-week challenge and look pretty good by the end, you could do it alone. You could eat less, try to eat a little bit of protein, and probably it might go kind of well. If you want to go far and do maybe win the lifestyle challenge, so we have a lifestyle challenge where like if you enter now, the lifestyle doesn't happen until the next challenge, where at the end of the next one, it's got to be longer than 9 weeks. It could even be till the second challenge of the year, the third. Like there's people who have won that their transformation's a full year. If you want to win the lifestyle challenge, make this something you do consistently for the rest of your life, you're going to need somebody to help you out a little bit. Me and Sully need somebody to help us out, even though we can coach people ourselves. Like we still have our own coaches. That's how important it is to have somebody.
Yep. And my coach, I know we talked about guide rails in the past, but also like, so say like I'm a booster on a rocket ship, right? Like we're going 1,000 miles an hour, but I view my coach as like those auxiliary boosters, like on the left and right, and they go, go left here. So put, and it gets me back in alignment. And then it's like, go right here. And it goes, and I'm back in alignment because I'm like a rocket ship. Like I'm flying as fast as I can. But those boosters on the side, what keep me in alignment by moving me left and right just a touch is my coach. And like that makes all the difference. Because if I'm out of an alignment and I'm going to miss my goal, like that coach can get me right back in line. So the
Mm-hmm.
advisors do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
hey,
And
like, no, like this needs to be said. Like we're talking about the First Form Transformation Challenge, and like, guess what? I'm not a part of First Form at the moment. So like, I left HQ, and so like, I truly believe that that is one of the greatest tools, and that you can use, right? Using the First Form app, using the advisors, using the live streams that are provided. I truly still believe in my heart that even though I left HQ, like that is one of the greatest tools on the face of this planet that can change your life.
1,000%. Yeah, that dude, that speaks volumes, man. I appreciate you sharing that as well, because I know that's not super easy to I get like, hey, I'm not even there anymore, but like this is good. Like this is gonna help you change your life. Like
Yeah,
that shows that you truly care about others
dude,
here.
I truly care and I truly believe in it. Like I truly believe like there's things out there that actually work and that work in an ethical way, and this is one of them. And I truly believe that like we are going to change the world. Um, I don't have to be working at HQ in order to see it work. I've seen it work too many times in too many
Mhm.
lives, and to change too many the direction of too many people to say like, oh, just because I'm not there, like it doesn't work anymore. Like, yeah, it does. Like, trust me, it's a great game plan. I still follow it. Like, that's what we do. Reps and sets over a long period of time. We hit majority of our meals and we win day in and day out.
Yes, sir. Exactly. Like it's not that like just thinking of through like what we're just talking about there. Like it's not complicated. It's
Simple but
simple,
not easy.
but
Simple
not easy,
but not
baby.
easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep.
Exactly. It's just executing consistently on the basics. You don't have to go into anything too crazy. It's like you
Yeah.
listed off most of the checklist things that you got in the app to hit each day within
Mhm.
like 3 seconds. Like you're done. We can hit that pretty easily. But well, is we can talk about it easily, but it's very
Mhm.
simplest, really difficult to execute over a long period of time. And that's where the advisor can come in and help you figure out like what's getting you off track. It's like, okay, like what's causing you to have those sweets at night? What's causing you to crave those fried foods? That's something that I crave all the time. It's salt, just so you know. You need to get more salt in if you crave fried foods all the time. But they can pick out things like that for you personally, because we're all that's something. As I get deeper and deeper even into like customer service up here and talking to so many different kinds of people, it's like we are all so individually different with how we respond to things. It's like, yes, all the basics we're talking about, they work for 99.9% of everybody to help you earn the best results possible. But there are some of those like those gray
Blind
areas.
spot. Blind
Mm-hmm.
spots. We all
Yeah,
have
the
blind spots.
exactly, and they're going to be a little bit different for each person. That's why that advisor is so important, because they have been through so many different situations where it's like I'll just give one example for to oblige directly to me. Sometimes IBS, you go to the bathroom too much, sometimes it's not enough. And you have literally the exact opposite solutions that generally will fix that problem. Like both have IBS, but you do literally the exact opposite thing. For me, going too often, you do soluble fiber from things like asparagus, zucchini. I mainly use multi-fiber because most of those things don't digest that well for me.
Hmm.
Are fiber product. And then
Yep.
when you're constipated more, that's going to be insoluble fiber to actually move the food through your gut. That's oatmeal, that's your whole grains, brown rice, quinoa, and things like that. So, like, same condition, opposite types of fiber that you're going to implement. And the like insoluble fiber is the opposite of what I need. Like that's going to help the other person a lot. That's going to make everything so much worse for me. So like just to get into the nerd zone a little bit to explain why that advisor is so
Hell yeah.
important. Like they can nerd out on those things with you and make sure the plan is perfect for you personally. Those that simple plan that we're talking about, that gets you 80-90% of the way there. The things I'm talking about help you consistently execute those things, and it's that extra like 10%. So just wanted
Love
to
it.
clarify that a little bit there for you guys.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that, and thanks for sharing that with you. the struggles that you go through. Hey, y'all, we're human too, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and John knows how to attack it from both ways, quite literally.
Yes.
So I really appreciate that, man. I think that's a
Absolutely.
great place to wrap up. We've given the people a little reminder that hey, you don't have to go it alone. Hey, you don't have to be perfect, and hey, like this is the long game. Let's do it. If all we have to do is execute day in and day out to the best of our ability, and we're going to win.
Yes, sir. Simple execution every single day. It's like, hey, take it one day at a time. I'll leave it right there.
Yep, reps and sets mentality over a long period of time. That's all it is.
Exactly.
All right, John. Hey, I bid you farewell. I appreciate you, brother. I love the work that you're doing. Let's keep it up, huh?
Yes, sir. Hey, I appreciate you, bro, as always. Let's make it a great week.
Damn right. Let's go.
Yes, sir.